People arriving anywhere in the UK from Spain after midnight tonight will now have to quarantine for 2 weeks. It follows concerns over a sharp increase in Spanish coronavirus infections, nearly 1,000 new cases in just the last 2 days. The country is a favourite destination for British holidaymakers and had been on a list of more than 70 countries where quarantine measures didn't apply. British Airways says it's disappointed by the news and warns the travel plans of thousands of people will now be thrown into chaos. Our correspondent Richard Galpin has the very latest.
For the British holidaymakers amongst the crowds here in Catalonia, this the great escape into the sun and warm waters following the long months of lockdown back home. But it's no longer looking such a dream break, because 2 weeks quarantine now awaits when they return to the UK if they don't get back before midnight tonight.
We've known in theory that countries could lock down, that countries could go back on this corridor list of not being able to visit without quarantine. But lots of people that I've been here with in Benidorm thought that it was incredibly safe, haven't felt endangered, and were quite shocked at the idea that there's 2 weeks of quarantine when we get back.
I'm kind of fortunate. I'm a teacher, so I'm on holiday.
Oh, you're on long holidays then.
There are plans that I had that I'll have to rearrange for 2 weeks. But, you know, my wife is with me. She works in the city and she's going to have to quarantine, and that will impact her because she had been due to go into the office over the next couple of weeks, so she can't do that anymore.
But the UK government has imposed the quarantine because of sharp increases in infections in the regions of Aragon and Navarre, as well as other areas.
For that reason, the advice as of now from the Foreign and Commonwealth Office is that all but essential travel to mainland Spain should be avoided.
Tens of thousands of British tourists have booked holidays in Spain. Many are trying to work out what to do now, while others have already given up hope.
I'm a key worker and James is working full time, so we couldn't get back and then sort of have 2 weeks straight off work. That's not possible. So although we could go on the holiday because we booked holidays, we can't come back and then stay in the house for 2 weeks. That just wouldn't be possible. So we can't then go on holiday because we can't come back and quarantine for 2 weeks.
Some flights from the UK to Spain have already been cancelled. What was hoped to be a big increase in tourism in the coming weeks now looks doomed.
This is going to be absolutely devastating. There are tens of thousands of people who are booked to travel to Spain tomorrow and in the next few days. Effectively, nobody is going to be going on package holidays. That families up and down Britain are going to be faced with this awful choice. Well, we're not going to get any money back from the airlines because we haven't got a package holiday. What do we do? And of course, you've got hundreds of thousands of people, some of whom flew out today, who are now facing the prospect of having to self-isolate for 2 weeks when they get home.
And what's happened now in Spain could happen in other countries in the coming weeks. The British government determined to prevent coronavirus infections being brought into the UK, and quarantine being an effective way to achieve that. Richard Galpin, BBC News.
Well, in a moment, we'll be hearing from our business correspondent, Katie Austin, on what the new quarantine measures might mean for the tourism industry. But first, let's go live to Madrid. And Guy Hedgecoe. Guy, what's been the reaction there? What does all this mean for the Spanish?
Well, the Spanish Foreign Ministry has said that it respects this decision by the UK government, but it has also said that Spain remains a safe place to visit and that these outbreaks of coronavirus that we're seeing at the moment are localised and are under control. Now, this decision comes at a time when Spain has been introducing or reintroducing restrictions in certain parts of the country because of a spike in infections. This weekend, for example, up in the northeastern region of Catalonia, the local government there has closed down nightclubs because it wants to stem the spread of the virus, in particular among younger people. But obviously, this decision by the UK government is going to have an impact on the tourism industry. British visitors to Spain make up around a quarter of total foreign visitors to the country in a normal year. They're the single most important market for Spain. So that is obviously going to have a huge impact on the tourism industry overall. And by extension, that is going to have a negative impact on the Spanish economy.
OK, Guy, thank you. Guy Hedgecoe there in Madrid. Turning to you, Katie, there's yet another dark cloud hanging over the tourism industry here.
Absolutely. For the travel and tourism industries, this won't be a complete shock, but it is a scenario they've dreaded because since the UK government relaxed what had been a blanket quarantine policy, brought in some exemptions, Spain has been a popular choice for people finally booking a getaway. And airlines and travel companies hope this could be the start of some sort of very slow recovery after a crisis that has cost thousands of jobs already. So it being demonstrated how quickly the situation can change will make them worry people will now lose confidence in booking holidays. Now, EasyJet and British Airways have expressed disappointment this evening, and EasyJet queried why the quarantine requirement covers the whole of Spain, not regions where spikes have occurred.
And for the poor people who've already booked their holidays to fly out in the next few days and weeks, what does all this mean for them?
Well, people already in Spain are being advised to see out their holiday and then self-isolate on return. Those booked to travel imminently, though, should check their options with their travel provider. For example, EasyJet has said customers who no longer wish to travel can change their flights or get a voucher, while TUI is cancelling flights to mainland Spain and the Canary Islands tomorrow. It's called tonight's announcement by the UK government late and described a damaging level of uncertainty and confusion. There are other issues too, where the Foreign Office advises against all but essential travel. Your insurance policy might not cover you anymore, so you really need to check the detail of that. And the government has said it's encouraging employers to be understanding of those returning from Spain who are now unexpectedly having to self-isolate on return. So I'm sure there will be a lot of, in some cases, tricky conversations going on about return to work.
OK. Katie, many thanks. Katie Austin, our business correspondent there.